Hey guys, my name is Katarina. I am an empath and I'm doing a 30-day challenge talking about what it's like being an empath, what are some of the things we go through as empaths, what are some of our unique challenges, our unique abilities, and how to put all of this together and navigate the real world with our special qualities and how to also survive in that real world. So I've done 4 videos so far, and this is video number 5. So in the previous videos, I've discussed how we navigate intimate romantic relationships and some of the struggles that we may experience in them. In video number 2, I talked about eye contact and what that means to an empath and why some of the empaths can avoid eye contact at times and what they can gauge through eye contact. In video number 3, I talked about why it's so important to honor your intuition and to trust your hunches and some of my personal experiences with not doing that, which sadly has happened quite a bit. And then in video number 4, I talked about the ways that I can tell that someone's an empath, and how I'm able to do that, and what are some of these signs that tell me someone's an empath. So in this video, I want to talk a little bit about how an empath can deal with the energy that they perceive and read from other people and situations, and how they can turn that from being a weakness into being their power. So what do I mean by this? As an empath, if you're an empath, you know what I mean. If you're learning about empaths, that's maybe something you might be interested in learning about. As an empath, we take on a lot of our other people's energy, a lot of other people's thoughts, a lot of other people's problems. It doesn't take much for us to do it. We can have one conversation or even one eye contact exchange, and we, from that small interaction, can gauge a lot of information about where this person is emotionally, where this person is mentally, what this person feels, what they are fearing for, and a lot of other stuff, such as their traumas, their frustrations, their fears, and just where they are coming from emotionally and psychologically. And we're able to help that person often, and often we're able to understand that person very well and to relate to them and engage with them and have a meaningful exchange that can lift this person up, that can make them feel better, that can make them feel more connected, more valued, and just understood. And that's very important. That's why I think being an empath is a superpower. But that can also be a weakness, because after that exchange, we're left with that energy of that person. We're left with their problems, with their feelings, with their fears, with their emotional turmoil, with whatever is going on in their life. And when this person walks away, we might sit there for hours in our space, at home, somewhere else, just thinking and thinking and thinking about this person and their situation and their struggle and their challenges. And we might feel and feel and feel and be so worried, so concerned about this person. We might feel so bad for this person. We might be so burdened by that read, by what we just experienced, being connected to that person. And when you interact with a lot of people, you get a lot of these reads. And if you're an empath and you haven't figured out a way to set boundaries and tell no to people and know when to go into your space and disconnect and recharge, when you get to a certain amount of reads, you can become really dysfunctional, because you can no longer tell which thoughts are yours, which feelings are yours, which fears are yours, which worries are yours, and which belong to other people that you just picked up. I've had several episodes in my life where I experienced full-blown long-term depression because of this. I would be so distraught and disturbed and dysfunctional, because I would read all this stuff from other people, and it would take such deep roots in my own consciousness that I would be feeling other people's feelings, thinking other people's thoughts. I would feel like I have voices in my head, which weren't real actual voices, but they were all these conflicting opinions and feelings and perceptions and moods that weren't even my own, and I felt that. But because there were so many, I no longer knew which ones were my own. What did I feel? Who was I? Just a combination of all these reads from other people. Where was true me? And that can be maddening. That can feel like insanity. And so that from superpower, it quickly becomes something that feels like a complete weakness, especially if you don't have appropriate boundaries with people where you can say, listen, I love you, but right now I can't talk to you because I am low on energy myself. I am unable to help you right now because I don't have it in me. When you're just saying yes to everyone and doing everything for everyone and listening to everyone and connecting with everyone and trying to help everyone, you can pretty quickly get to that point where you are completely depleted and also overwhelmed by all this information that you've perceived through reading other people, through connecting to their energy and downloading all of their problems into yourself in order to help them. But then these problems don't go away, they stick with you. So yesterday I was at this conference, and I talked a little bit about this in my previous video. I immediately could tell that this keynote speaker who presented, who is a famous football player in our state of South Carolina, who is now a football coach, who is a very well-known public figure, and he made this amazing presentation, amazing speech, talking about some of these challenges, talking about learning from these challenges, talking about connecting to others in a way that lifts you up, lifts them up, and being able to manage your own emotional devastation when it happens, and being able to stay strong and resilient to stress and balanced and centered and focused on your creativity. While I was listening to his speech, I realized he was an empath. So that's what the previous video was about, is how I can tell that someone's an empath. So seeing this person really shine and seeing how much power this person had, he was making eye contact with everyone in that room, in that big giant hall where there were so many people, and he was making eye contact with all of them. He was very engaged in his presentation. He was sharing from the heart, and everyone could feel that, and I could tell that he's definitely an empath. And I could tell that he also can feel deeply other people's struggles, and that he has done that so many times, that he has learned from that, and that now he's empowering others. So I really wanted to know what were some of the things that he learned that he could suggest as an empath to other empaths. I didn't want to use this term because I knew some people wouldn't really get what I'm talking about. So I said, hey, you're very empathic. Could you share how you turned that from weakness into superpower? How you didn't lose your mind connecting and relating to all these people, and now how you're empowering people to be stronger and be more resilient. What would you recommend? And he stood up, he looked me in the eyes, and he said, you know, you are exactly right. And he said that it wasn't easy to learn. He said that you have to release that energy. As soon as he said that, I knew exactly what he was talking about. That energy that you read from other people, that energy that you pile on by connecting to all these people and downloading all their feelings and thoughts and problems. You have to find a way to release it. He said that a lot of that was sharing with other people. So saying, you know, hey, listen, I need help to someone. He said that he talks to a therapist, that he talks to his wife, that he talks to the few close people in his life that he can really trust, and ask for help when he's feeling down or if he's feeling depleted. But in terms of releasing energy, I know that it's correct. And interestingly enough, I've been able to do this by means of exercise in a lot of ways. I haven't always been active. I haven't always been physically active, but I've learned, it took me a while to figure this out, but I've learned that when I'm feeling bogged down and like I've taken on too much of other people's vibes and energy and problems and stuff, that it's important for me to go and move, whether it be a long walk or exercising at the gym or doing some yoga, whatever it is. It really does not matter what it is, but I really have to do some physical exercise, like to move physically to get that energy kind of flowing out of me. And for years I did not know this, so I would just kind of, because when you're feeling bogged down and like all of these feelings inside of you, all of these thoughts that don't even seem like your own, they're just kind of all arguing with each other, and the feelings are all conflicting, and you're just so devastated. You feel like you're losing your mind because it's all going inside of you, but outside nothing's going on, but you're feeling completely dysfunctional. You don't want to really move. That's not the first thought that naturally comes to your mind. You tend to actually kind of close in and isolate and go into a room and just sit there for hours and hours and hours, and maybe sleep longer than you normally do because you just don't want to be present in this world. But I've learned that going for a walk and doing some exercise alleviates that. In fact, it gives me energy, aligns me with my own energy. It allows my body to physically release all these vibes from other people and to get more connected with my own vibes and my own needs. And at first it's a little bit of a struggle because you're like, wow, I'm feeling like crap. I don't want to be moving right now. That's not what I want to be doing. But after I'm telling you, it's pretty fast. After like 5 to 10 minutes of exercise, and I'm talking, get some speed to that walk. Don't just walk very slowly. Don't run either necessarily, but get the blood flowing. Start really actually moving. 5 to 10 minutes into that, you're gonna start feeling better. You're gonna start feeling like, wow, the air is so fresh. Wow, the things around me have colors. Wow, I'm feeling my own feelings, and it's not so bad. So that's one way I can release energy. Another way to release energy is to, as hard as it can be to do, is to meditate. And that release is a little more gentle. And it's a little harder to get into, honestly, for me than exercise, because it's being very still. Maybe you play some music while you do it. Maybe you set a timer knowing that it will go off so you don't have to check time to see how long you've been meditating. And then it's just getting into the stillness. And yes, your mind is going to fight it. The thoughts are going to come up. It's okay. You can't go from thinking all these things to immediately not thinking anything. The thoughts are going to come up. You don't have to attack them. You just observe them. That's where you kind of step away from thinking and being your thoughts to just seeing them float in. Don't fight them. Don't resist them. They're going to come anyway. But every time you have a thought, withdraw yourself and see the thought. It can be as easy as acknowledging, I have this thought now. And now I have this thought, and now I'm thinking about this, and now I'm thinking about that. And when you do that, you give yourself some distance from the thought itself, and you become someone who observes the thoughts. So that alone kind of gives you this funny feeling that you're not your thoughts, you're not your feelings, you're something more than that. If you can observe them, you're not them. So that can give you good distance from your thoughts and feelings, and from the thoughts and feelings that are not even your own, that you picked up from other people as an empath. And that can allow you to release a lot of these. And you can kind of watch them for a while, and then you can really let them go, and then you can just be in your own energy for as long as you can. And like I said, setting the timer for me has been very helpful. Setting the timer for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes, for 20 minutes. It does not have to be half an hour, 2 hours, no. It can just be a little bit, but a little can go a long way. Another way to release the energy is to do something symbolic. And you can say that it's a ritual, because any ritual is doing an action and attaching another meaning to this action besides just the action for the sake of action. So it doesn't have to be any fancy ritual or anything like that. You can just write some things down that you no longer want to hold on to, such as thoughts, feelings, such as energy that you picked up from other people. You can write down energy of my friend this, energy of my friend this, and energy of my partner this, and energy of my family member this, and write their name. It's not them. You're not letting them go. You're letting go of their energy that you've picked up, conversing with them, helping them, feeling their problems, connecting to their problems, and picking them up. You can write down some of the negative feelings that are your own, some of the negative thoughts that are recurring that are your own, some of the addictions that you no longer want to continue and feed your life into. And you can do a symbolic process of burning that piece of paper and scattering the ashes. Of course, be careful with anything that involves fire, but at the same time, that can be a very helpful and healing process of metaphorically releasing something. But science actually observes that our subconscious mind, which is the mind that's not necessarily logical, it's the mind where our feelings and our perception of things, our dreams, our ideas are coming from. They're not really logical. It's where our beliefs are stored, which also don't always have to be logical. But they're very powerful, and they dictate how we see the actual world around us. So doing something symbolic, such as writing things down on a piece of paper and burning them to let them go, to set them free, can mean a lot to your subconscious mind. Just taking that action to release these things, and not just setting an intention to release them, but to actually make something, some kind of a process, some kind of a ritual to release them, as simple as writing them down and burning them, communicates to your subconscious mind that you are serious about letting these things go, that you're taking action in the physical world to release these things. And your subconscious mind can perceive this and really set this in motion to where you're going to start releasing these things without really even trying. It's just going to kind of happen naturally because you've taken this step, this action, to set them free in a symbolic way. So another fourth way of releasing the energies that you pick up can be to talk to either a spiritual advisor, to a therapist, to a friend that you truly trust, that really has your best interests in mind, and share what you've been burdened with. Share these things that you've picked up from other people. Even just share that you've picked up some energies from other people as well, and that you're struggling. That can go a long way. And this is where this speaker that I've asked a question from, that's where a lot of his solutions have been. He said that he's talked to a therapist, he's talked to his wife, whom he really trusts, who really understands where he's coming from as an empath. He's talked to some of his mentors. He said he had a lot of good, powerful, positive influences in his life, where people that he respected took time to consult him and to invest time and effort into helping him out, helping him grow. So whoever you have in your life that you can trust, that really understands you and sees that you have these abilities, sees that you have these sensitivities, if you can just share that you're going through a period of struggle in your life, that you are picking up other people's energy and thoughts and feelings, and that it's too much, that you can't even tell what your own feelings and thoughts are, that can be very healing. Because if you can share that with someone, that kind of opens that door to releasing these things. And if you can have that validation, and not even validation, but maybe just compassion from another person who understands you, who cares about you, and who is going to listen to you and just take the time to hear what you're dealing with and feel compassion towards you, it can be an extremely healing thing. It can be a very empowering process, and it can really serve you in a lot of ways. The fifth and the final way I'm going to mention to release the energies that you pick up from other people is to disconnect. You don't have to do this for a long time, maybe just for a day, maybe just for a few hours. Disconnect from social media, disconnect from the news, disconnect from TVs, disconnect from technology, and go out for a walk in the nature, or just go sit under a tree, sit in the park, go to a remote place, from maybe not too remote, but somewhere where there are green things, trees, plants, maybe a river, maybe an ocean. Wherever you live, whatever you have, there's always nature nearby in some form. So get out in the nature. Again, it doesn't have to be for a long time. If you can do this for a day, that's really great. If you really can't afford to do this for a day and you only have a few hours, or just even an hour, or maybe even less than that, but you really want to release all these vibes from other people that you've been picking up as an empath, a really good way to do that is to go out in the nature and leave all of your technology behind. If you have to bring a phone with you, just put it in the airplane mode for a little while. If there are people that are constantly in need of your support or help, or need to know where you are, you can let them go that you're doing this for yourself. You're going to be disconnected for the next hour or 2 hours, and you're not going to have your phone plugged in, so to speak. And just be. It's going to be challenging at first. You might have this urge to check the social media, or to check if you have any calls or texts, or to worry about what if someone suddenly needs you and you're out of reach. But if you stick with it and you really just connect to the world around you, the nature, the plants, the animals, the insects, whatever you see around you, the trees, the body of water, whatever it is, whether it's a river or a lake or an ocean, maybe mountains, just anything really, and just nature, and start observing, start paying attention to other forms of life. Again, plants, animals, even rocks. I consider rocks to be alive. And just observe. Don't think too much about, what they are and whatever, but just observe the colors, the shapes. And you're going to start feeling this sense of peace, this sense of connectedness to Earth, to this planet. And it can be very healing, and that can allow and enable you to release the energies that you've picked up from other people in a major, empowering, beautiful way. And it can be extremely healing if you just stick with it. And it will take some patience at first, but once you start doing it, you're going to realize how amazing it feels, how wonderful it feels, how relaxing it feels, and you're going to start feeling this stress and these thoughts and feelings of other people and frustrations of people around you just kind of float out of you as you connect to something bigger. If you can't take your shoes off and walk barefoot, if you can't, don't worry. Just try putting your hand on a tree, or holding a rock, or leaning against a big rock, or sitting down on the ground. Whatever it is, just touch something besides yourself in the nature, with your skin. Have some contact with a plant or a rock, or if you have pets, maybe snuggle with your cat or dog, and just connect to another being in this way, and kind of let that just internally set an intention to release all that stockpiled energy that's been driving you insane. Just release it, and whatever you touch, the animal, the tree, the plant, the rock, whatever it is gonna help you do that. We are more connected to nature than we believe. Sadly, we are more connected to nature than we can understand, and nature is our friend. And as simple as sitting on the grass, or walking barefoot on the beach or on the grass, or leaning against a tree or against a big rock, can do a lot for you, a lot more than you can imagine. And once you do it, you might be just so surprised by how healing that experience can be, and just how much that energy that's been bogging you down, that's you've picked up from other people and situations, how it can just leave you, and how you can be alleviated from having to hold it all in, and hold it all together all on your own. So these are the 5 ways that I would recommend releasing the energy that you pick up from other people and situations. And it's important to do and to learn how to do for you as an empath, because otherwise it can be really maddening and a very devastating and kind of an insane experience when you're stuck with all that energy that's not even your own, and you don't know how to let it go, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. If you know of any other ways, please let me know in the comments below. If this video has been helpful for you, if you like these kinds of videos, if you want to learn more about being an empath and connect to another empath, and just maybe even share some of your struggles as well with me, please feel free to reach out. Please feel free to subscribe. This is a pretty new channel, and I'm just kind of starting, so it would mean the world to me to have you join me in this. And thank you so very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video and it's been helpful to you, and it serves you in a powerful way. And I will see you guys in the next one, and until then, I love you all so very much. I hope you can feel my love. Take care. Bye.